part of the feasibility study at this point is to develop prototype products that would basically be educational curriculum products that would be, in the first instance, made available to New York City students. Many of these products, some of them exist already today. We'll hear a little bit about that. There's been two products that have been produced historically, one by the New Netherland Institute and the other by the New Netherland Museum.
Society, and I'm very pleased today to be hosting you in our new digs. Not everybody knows where we are yet. I tell everybody we're across from the Harvard Club.
Pleased to be here. I'm a trustee of the Holland Society as well. I've been very interested in getting the New Amsterdam History Center on the map so people know who we are. This is really the beginning. You're, I think, here for a historic moment. I think this is probably the first time that we've ever brought together a group like this. But basically what we have is the potential really to develop an unusual alliance. So this is primarily going to be a feasibility study of the History Center, but the focus is really going to be on developing educational products to determine which of those products will help the History Center add to their sustainability criteria. So we're looking at potentially a cost-benefit analysis of various projects that are going to be presented today. What is the, do they meet some of the criteria that we think is going to be important going forward? Expected online resources that we're looking for, virtual New Amsterdam visual imagery, digital documentation. Lots of these curriculums that exist are just on a piece of paper and a book, and we think this could be transformed into a virtual concept, not dissimilar to what online universities are doing today. The people coming and sitting around the table here represent many of the themes that are important. We're interested in primary source documents that can be placed into digital form, to include images, deeds, bios, wills, locational related information. Again, this will be tied back to the Costello plan itself, where we would click on a house and up would pop initially what's in Stokes, iconography of Manhattan. We're going to go back and in the first instance digitize, if you will, scan that sections of Stokes that deal with each property of the 310 properties. We're going to start with a subsample of about 40 properties within a prototype area to begin to develop the virtual project. But that won't stop us actually from the source document information. We can proceed right away. And the database management system that we're going to employ will somewhat mirror what was done in Chinatown, where you basically have behind the virtual imagery, you have a database management system that contains a lot of information that can be searchable and retrievable by whomever would like to do so. The curriculum for classroom use we hope to include methods for creating digital historical documentaries prepared by students as well. The first person on the docket is Charlie Guerin. Yeah.
Well, first of all, what we did is about 15 years old at this point. Back in the mid-90s, we put together a 4th grade and a 7th grade curriculum, and both of them are in 2 parts. And they were funded by the daughters of Holland's, what are they called? Holland Dames. I can never get their names straight. And they were published by the archives, and they were distributed free of charge. We used a list of libraries from New York State, and we sent a set of these out to every school in New York State, so the distribution is quite wide. Now, the problem is you don't know where they go once they get into the school, whether they get into the right hands or not. In many cases, they go to the head person and then put them up on the shelf and nobody sees them. I'm still getting calls. I get a call maybe once or twice a week for materials. They see the availability of this material on our website, and they want either the 4th or the 7th grade or both, and we send them out. And we don't restrict ourselves to New York. We send stuff out to New Jersey. We get calls from Michigan, Connecticut, and Delaware also, depending upon the school and the teacher's interests and so forth, and if they have found out by going into our website. All of this is advertised or publicized on our website. And we need to find funds to put them into a much more attractive format, like the Half Moon board has done with the curriculum for 4th and 7th grade. The idea is to use primary source material in teaching about Netherlands. We immediately engage students reading primary source documents. Not in 7th century Dutch, because our expectations aren't that high. But we show some 7th century Dutch, and we show problems involved in translating and so forth. But it's mostly an idea of what 17th century documents look like, what people were concerned with, what types of formats were used, and so forth. And they have been quite successful. In order to really make them successful, we need to get them into the New York State curriculum, which we are working on. And I was asked last year to write a short description of the significance of Henry Hudson for a publication at the curriculum committee by Joanne Larson in the New York State Education Department is putting together to hand out to teachers. I think they're doing a short piece, page and a half, mine was about 2 pages long, on specific periods of time, so that in order to bring teachers up to speed on certain periods. In addition to the curriculum, we also have a website. And this is probably the most important thing you can do these days if you want to publicize what you do, is to put a website up and to make it available and to change it or add to it constantly, make it a very alive thing.
Here's the New Amsterdam History Center website. It's up. It's going to be taken down shortly for revision, but it does exist.
Why don't you put ours on? www.nnp.org.
Okay.
What's nice about this is when you're out giving a talk and you want people to know what you do, all you have to do is write that up on the blackboard or whatever. And everybody takes these addresses down immediately, or they remember them. We're used to memorizing addresses now, web addresses. And that gives you access to everything we do. And in the website, we have a bibliography of New Netherlands and 17th century history in general, European history in general, which we're constantly adding to. We are putting documents up, not only a facsimile of the original, but a transcription of the Dutch, a translation of the Dutch, and commentary. So that these documents can be used in the classroom setting. You can download the material if you want to teach how to read 17th century Dutch. You can use these documents.